Ever since I started this whole content creation thing, I have never ever been this vulnerable to you guys. In short, there's never been a time that I have posted anything about my personal life to you guys. So today is the first time. So this is me telling you guys how weird I was in secondary school. In short, I don't think there's any content creator that can say that he was as weird as me. I was a different kind of weird. I'm like, I don't know if you have seen anybody in your set that you look at and be like, wow, there's no hope for this guy. That was me. Let me give you a little backstory. So now, JS1, they dropped me in class. Funny enough, my dad dropped me in JS1 at 9 years old and gave me transport to find my way back home. Crazy, now that I'm thinking of it. And when I'm talking about back home, I'm not talking about just a walk in the park for like, look at my school, look at my house. I'm talking about like a whole 30 minutes, 20 minutes journey with public transport. Those of you who live in Abuja, we're talking about a place called Jikoi. Yeah, it's at the outskirts of Abuja. Where I was schooling is a place called Asokoro. You know, Asokoro is like the Ikoyi of Abuja. The school I went to is a community secondary school, Asokoro. Yeah, I get that doesn't mean I'm from a rich family. I am a trenches boy and I don't look it. Nobody even thinks I'm a trenches boy because I am one of those trenches boys who never came out of the house, who were not allowed to leave the house. Like I said, I lived in a place called Jikoi, and if you go and do your research, it is far, very, very far from people who make good income. So yeah, even though I stayed in the trenches, I never left my house. So you know, the trenches vibe didn't really show, and I don't think it's even still showing. You know, that's why a lot of people still think that yo, it's an Ajay Butter kid, I'm not Ajay Butter. Oh, did I say that? I don't know. So they dropped me in JS1, you know, first day of school. The thing about being the new student, you know, this new student aura was there. You know, there's this way you walk into the school and you're a new student, you're wearing your mufti. So whatever you do from that first week, second week, is going to make or break your entire career, your entire rep in the entire school. I used the first week to observe, you know, look at my surroundings, check everyone out, make sure that, yo, I'm ready to, you know, show myself. And thankfully, because I had common sense, I was able to join the popular gang of that time. I'm very sure like you'll be thinking that, oh, where's the part where Rodney gets weird? We'll get into that. Remember when I told you that my dad dropped me day one of secondary school and told me to find my way back home? He gave me like 200 naira transport. I think that was transport at the time, to find my way all the way from Asokoro back to Jukwe. That was the routine from that day on. It got to a point where like I started eating my transport money. It's not like I didn't carry food to school. I always used to carry food to school. They used to pack food for me to school. But like it got to a point where like, I don't know. I don't eat the food that I pack from home. Maybe because break time, instead of eating, I used to go and play. And when I come back, the food is cold. It's no longer appetizing. And even if I open it in class, the stench of it, you know, the way everybody will look at me like, why are you bringing out that Indomie that's looking like a brain now? Because it's now taking the form of the plate. So I stopped eating the food. I used to throw it away. I'm sorry, mom, if you're watching this. That's how it used to happen. So anyway, for me to survive, because I'm staying in school for like 8 hours or more, I needed to eat, and that was when I started eating my transport money. Now eating my transport money, I still needed to get home, so that was where the beginning of my weirdness started. I don't know if me eating my money was already weird. I don't know if there's anybody that used to eat their transport money. If you have, please tell me in the comment section. Like I said, my gang was a popular gang, and there's one thing about the popular gang in the class. Majority of them, they guide. So it was kind of split in the middle. Some of them guide, some of them don't really guide. So many of them, their parents used to come and pick them. The rest of us, we also use public transport. So I mean, looking at the bright side, I was not going home alone after the first week of school. The difference between me and my gang is that they don't eat their transport money. I do. They don't eat their transport money because they give them extra money for feeding. They don't pack their lunchbox. They don't carry lunchbox. I was still carrying lunchbox, and that was already seen as weird. Like, why are you carrying a lunchbox? I used to in primary school. You're gonna explain, Taya. But I mean, my mommy loves me. My mommy loves to prepare home-cooked meals for her son, her baby boy, to go and eat in school and be refreshed and not go and be eating Mama Ejima's food. Home-cooked meals are the best. Please, if your mom is still cooking, go and thank her. You don't know what God has done for you. I swear to God, bruv. I need to call my mom. Whenever we're going back home, I'll beg them that, bro, I lost my money, or I forgot my money at home or something. There's always something that will come up, and they'll tell me that, yo, no problem, maybe I'll lap you, or maybe you can stand or something. That's how I used to do. They'll carry me and I'll get home free of charge. So now I could only keep that lie for so long before they noticed that I was lying. I was actually eating my transport. I needed to re-strategize. I needed to find a way to keep going home free of charge while eating my transport money. And then I did the unthinkable. What's the unthinkable, you may ask? I started asking strangers for money. So imagine this, a grown man, you're a grown man or a grown woman, you're standing on the road, and then a 9-year-old comes and asks you like, good afternoon, ma. I don't have money to go back home. I lost my transport. Please, can you help me with 100 naira? That was a new way I found to, start going home. Exploiting strangers. Oh, my karma. I've done things. There's going to be a lot of other things I'm going to say in this video that's going to change your view of me, Rodney, the person that some of you, I don't know, idolize or what. You guys are going to understand that, bro, I've done some kind of terrible things. In short, sometimes when I look back, I feel like maybe my parents did not beat me enough. When I was asking people for money, I was beginning to get recognized, which is a bad thing because it's the same bus stop and I come in there almost every day and I'm asking different adults for money. Of course, I was going to get recognized. Now, a normal human being is going to be like, maybe I should be eating my home cooked meals that they have been packing for me and not eat my transport money. But no, I was finding a way to cheat the system. It's not as if what I was buying in the canteen was glamorous. It's not as if what I was eating in the canteen was worth buying. Sometimes I don't even eat. Sometimes I don't even spend the money on actual food. I will use the money and go and buy surprise pack. Surprise pack was like how much? 50 naira, I think. I'll use the money and go and buy surprise pack and come out with one green toy or whatever, lick the candy, and I'll call it a day. Meanwhile, there is plantain fried in my backpack and I'll not touch it. Aye. Sometimes I feel like I should just go back in the field and flog myself, because bro, this next step of trying to beat the system was what introduced me to a new life. I was in JS1 purple. There are 5 class groups. I mean, okay, they're not 5, they're 4. Purple, lemon, white, and maroon. So I was in purple. There was this guy, and this guy was in lemon. Lemon was right next to my class. So the reason why I used to go to lemon was maybe there's a combined class or something. IRS students to go to purple, CRS students to come to lemon, something like that. So that was how I met this guy. We're going to change his name. Let's call him Victor. So I met Victor in JS1 lemon, and immediately I saw him. I did not like him. I didn't like him one bit. Why I didn't like him was because he was a weirdo. He was obviously a weirdo, and what made me to even be in the same seat with him was because there were other people that were like dragging for seat and shit, and I don't know, but I ended up in the same seat with him, and I did not like him one bit, but I kind of tolerated him. During the course of me sitting with him 1 or 2 times, I was able to discover that he stays in a place called Kurudu. Now, Kurudu is way deeper. Like, let's say, Ijiko was a little bit closer to civilization, but Kurudu was way into the outskirts. I don't know if that's still Abuja, but yeah, that was where he was. So basically, I was like, since he's staying in Kurudu, if I'm joining him home, they could just drop me at my side at Jukwe, Genius plan. And remember, I didn't like this guy, but considering the fact that he could be my way to coming home free of charge, it was worth taking the risk. So now I told him that, yo, I don't know if I could be like pulling up with you, and he was like, sure, everywhere good now, you can come with me now. And yeah, I started associating with the guy. The first day of me joining him and his mom, the mom is actually a very, very beautiful lady.
Miss Loretta, I'm ready for the rest of the tour.
This guy, even though he was a weirdo, he actually guy though. Even though he's staying, I think maybe the place is staying in Kurudu, maybe that they actually built the house. I don't know. But the guy, he's more financially stable. Yeah, I joined him. First day, I hated it. Second day, I hated it. But yo, I'm coming home free of charge. So a win is a win. There's the thing about associating with people for a long time. Because of my continuous association with this Victor guy, his weird traits began to rub off on me. What were the weird traits, you may ask? First of all, he was obsessed with cartoons. Being obsessed with cartoons in JS1, it's excusable. It's allowed, but it's the level at which he took it that made our lives miserable. My life, I don't know about his, because I feel like he was living his best life, but he made my life miserable. First of all, his obsession with cartoons made him not to really give a shit about the real world or how people saw him. He lived that fantasy of being only understood by the fictional characters. They are fictional characters, they are not real, but he began to see them as real. He began to emulate them, their mannerisms, their behaviors, their way of talking. Now, why I was finding it weird was because I was already in a popular gang, and this popular gang, they are not really into the whole cartoon stuff. If they were even into any cartoon stuff, it's most likely going to be the adult cartoons, maybe the Rick and Morty, the Simpsons, the Family Guy. But bro, this nigga is watching Gumball, he's watching SpongeBob, he's watching all these other things, and like, he was an artist. Like, he could draw, he drew comics, he was obsessed with Ben 10, Transformers, Gumball. When I started associating with him, I began to lose my own reps. I did not notice it at the time, but like I said, it was for me to be able to go home free of charge, eating my cake and having it. That was the plan. So I did not really give much thought to it until it was too late. We were looking at ourselves as Mordecai and Rigby from regular show, because he's taller than me and I was kind of short then. As the short guy, I was Rigby. As the tall guy, he was Mordecai. How are we emulating the cartoon characters? Now, for example, let me give you a scenario. The computer teacher comes and says, everybody, let's go to computer lab, and everybody is running to get their seats. Normal person is going to be running like, yo. Let me show you how I was running. I was trying to emulate SpongeBob. I began to understand why they really didn't like me. Because why would someone be doing that? Now, don't think like as we're weird, we didn't recruit people. Oh, we did. That was the fun part. We thought we were building an empire. Before you know it, we saw another guy who was weird like us. He was a loner and he needed our help. He needed us. We're the ones that were going to bring him to our clique and, you know, make him feel loved. Let's call him Samuel. Now, it was Rodney, Victor, and Samuel. Now, Samuel, his own weirdness was beastly, kind of. He was a nature kind of guy. He loved Nat Geo Wild a lot. Victor loves cartoons. This one, he loves cartoons too, but he was like dinosaur, T-Rex kind of guy. You know, his favorite cartoon was Dino Squad. He contributed a lot to the weirdness of our friend group. We're getting stronger in our weirdness. And also, he could draw. He could also draw. I didn't really know how to draw. I think I later learned how to draw because of my association with my friend group. Everybody knew how to draw in my friend group, so eventually I learned how to draw. That's the only thing I benefited from being in that friend group. So now we're no longer the GS1 weirdos, we're becoming school weirdos. We're weird normally for secluding ourselves from the girls in the real world and focusing on the cartoon character girls.
Now let's do a rapid fire of some of the girls that we were crushing on. And to be honest, they're still fine in my eye. Abi, is it just me? Thanks for watching. Let's continue the story.
We felt like we had a connection with them. But this guy brought a new wave of weirdness. He started influencing us to skip classes to go and catch grasshoppers, praying mantis, butterflies, snails. Now we're going to get the praying mantis and the grasshopper and put them inside a bottle and watch them fight. When butterflies are around, we'll be outside chasing butterflies for hours at a time. Sometimes we'll skip the whole school, skip all the classes in a row, just searching for because butterflies are hard to catch. Then later on, we started picking up snails and then make them race. What other thing we used to do was we started drawing comics of ourselves. We had an acronym for our friend group. So it was Rodney, Victor, and Samuel. So we used to call ourselves the RVS.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now, the RVS were a group of crime-fighting individuals who saved the city. Victor would draw his own version. Would draw his own version. I'll be the judge because I can't draw. The fact that our cartoon obsession was something core in our lives, we also influenced his own turned out worse because he is an animal lover and his favorite cartoon was Dino Squad. So imagine how it is. Now, in a situation where they are calling us to run to the computer lab, my bro is going to be running on all fours and he's galloping, even climbing stairs. He climbs stairs with arms and legs. I'm very, very happy that I did not get to that point, but his own was terrible. Even after like we decided to talk to ourselves and change, he didn't really change. I wonder where he is right now. I wonder where Samuel is right now. I really, really wonder where Samuel is. Anyway, all these things we're doing were in GS1. We moved to GS2 and we continued. Now we don't have any association with girls anymore. No girls want to talk to us. And frankly, we didn't care. We have already accepted that we are not the cool kids. We saw ourselves as the nerds, the ones who are not understood by the world. We are just misunderstood by the world. Nobody understands us. So the only friends we could have outside our group were our juniors, the S1 students. I mean, they were the impressionable ones, and considering that we are their seniors, of course they are going to be friends with us because, I mean, them being friends with us was giving them reps because we are seniors. So they're like, yo, these guys that associate themselves to the seniors, bro, can you imagine GS1 student had more steez than us? That was how terrible we were. Don't get me started on our hygiene. Our hygiene was disgusting. Our hygiene was terrible. I don't know about the others, but mine was disgusting. I used to watch my screen inform shirts maybe like once a week, or once every 2 weeks. Anytime I remember, like the stench is too much, that's when I used to watch it. Our screen uniform was light blue, our shirts was light blue. The sweat stain was in layers. Now the core is very, very brown, then there's light brown, dark brown, then brown mixed with blue. That was how it was, rainbow colored on both sides. I didn't really care, and it wasn't really noticeable because I was wearing like a cardigan, this sleeveless cardigan on top, so like my stench was terrible. I was smelling. In as much as we were in that situation, I still wanted the validation from, you know, the ladies. I still wanted to be able to, you know, talk to girls. No! We even recruited another guy, making us 4. This guy, we'll call him Chibuzo. Chibuzo already had reps in the school. He was okay, and then he joined us. His social life also died. You're associating with us. I don't know how you expect to keep your steez. His was terrible. Chibuzo also knew how to draw. Everybody was drawing. Everybody was skipping classes to go and find insects and snails, talking about cartoons and trying to emulate them. We even came up with our own slangs. Jesus, I can't say those slangs here because I will literally die of cringe. So now we're hated by everybody, and the teachers too don't like us. They just saw us as waste of space because we're just playing truancy, and we're not ready to change until reality hits. Now this is third term. I've been playing truancy for the whole of first term and second term. I didn't really care about my studies. I've been getting straight F's, and now we're in third term. That was when repeating class became very, very real. That yo, you're going to repeat this class if you don't buckle up. I tried my best, but it was too little too late. I repeated that class. Now repeating JS2. The funny thing is that my friend group did not repeat. I was the only person that repeated. They also failed, don't get me wrong, but they got failed but moved. Apparently their results were bad, but it wasn't as bad as mine. The first day of entering JS2, I saw people that I used to call my juniors, that I used to form seniority for, were in the same class with me. Bro, as I just went to sit down, I just put my head on the table and started crying. Rodney, this is how you messed up your life? That you're repeating the class? Oh, fuck. You're a disgrace. You're an idiot. You're a fool. You're a mumu. You're a mumu. You're a mumu. That was when I decided to talk to myself that I was going to change. I passed SS2 with flying colors. Now I entered SS3. I was still with my friend group. I didn't really make friends with the people that I was with in SS2 because they didn't understand my weirdness. They didn't understand me. It was when I reached SS1 that there was a turning point. Newsflash, everybody in my friend group repeated. So me, I was coming from JS3 and now met them in SS1. So it was like a reunion, like, oh my goodness, wow. Look at us, we're back together, baby. That was when we actually decided to sit down and talk to ourselves like, bro, do you understand that we have all repeated in this school? Our only friends outside our friend group are in JS1. We need to cut them off. Now we need to improve our hygiene. We are dirty, we are smelling. Take your baths, iron your clothes, look nice. And then we changed that. I tried to apply the hygiene on my school uniform as at then, but it was beyond repair. You know, it was too damaged there was no amount of bleach that you could soak the shirt into that would revive it. So we had to buy a new school uniform, and I started taking care of it like my baby. Now we have gotten to the segment where I actually had to now fight to climb back up in the social ladder. Funny enough, that's how I transitioned from being the most hated student in school to being one of the most loved by both the students and the teachers. So what you're going to do is to stay tuned. Calm down. I can't give you all the gist now. You have to take a chill pill. I got you.
I swear to God, if you have watched this video to the end and you have not subscribed or turned on notification bell, me and you, we are going to have problem. We're going